Hi, my name is Rezky Dwisantika, an undergraduate student from 10 November Institute of Technology, Indonesia. This is my submission for the VizPI redesign task as part of the recruitment process to work with Professor Yanchen of Virginia Tech. For this redesign, I focused on usability, clarity, and accessibility. As a starting point, I conducted a heuristic evaluation with a UX expert, which helped me identify several key usability issues in the current VizPI interface and also to pin the pain points in the existing one. Some major highlights include unclear navigation, inconsistent design system, and violations of several usability heuristics such as visibility, recognition rather than recall, error prevention, and also basic layout concerns like spacing and margins. To strengthen the foundation of my redesign decisions, I also referred to the laws of UX and incorporated some of them into my work. For instance, first is the cognitive load law. I tried to simplify the visual hierarchy to reduce mental effort required to process the interface. This cognitive load law is related with the amount of mental resources needed to understand and interact with an interface. Next is Jacob's law. This Jacob's law states that users spend most of their time on the other sites. This means that users prefer the site to work the same way as all the other sites they already know. So my attempt to meet this Jacob's law is that I adopted common design patterns that users are already familiar with, such as dashboard view, cards grouping, and progress bar, and many more. Next is Miller's law, states that the average person can only keep 7 plus or minus 2 items in their working memory. And lastly, the law of paradox of the active users. Users never read manuals but start using the software immediately. So, I prioritized intuitive design so users can begin using VizPI immediately without needing a manual, but still provides an access to the tutorial or the manual page. Now, let's get into the walkthrough of my redesign. So first, I will share my screen. Okay. Uh, now, I'm going to talk about the current design of VizPI. So we have this login page for one, or the sign-in page. We have two text fields. First is the email and for password, and then the sign-in button. So the design system here is that the text field are extruded inward, and for the button it was extruded outward. But the issue is this design system is no longer used later in the design at all, so it's just only once. And then after this we have this page. First page is the task and unit test. I believe this is a tab view, and also consisting kind of like different 3 panels. So we have this left panel, middle panel, and the right panel. So and then we have this task description, test cases, and the codification on the right panel. Okay, one issue here is that we see this a delete button, so it is a dangerous button, so we have to treat it accordingly. For example, adding the attribute of color red to it, but this one doesn't have it. And then next, we're moving on to the class performance page. We see this syntax error, like the code issues on the left panel, and then the class performance in the middle panel. And then and also the visual hierarchy or the information architecture isn't really clear, because we have this like distribute button here, and it kind of like feels out of place, and also this add to presenter view button here. And also we have to address this session list and tutorial. And then moving on to this third page is that the groups page. So we see this on the left panel. We see that these are the list of all the groups in this session. And then on the middle panel is that the detailed view. So also one issue that we found here is that the left panel is too cramped, while we have a lot of white spaces for the rest of the page, so it's not distributed evenly. And then after, okay, so I also kind of like learned the VizProc paper and also learned looking for references such as from the overcode paper, and also looking for the best practices and inspiration from the sites like Dribble. Okay, so this is what I stripped from the VizProc paper. Okay, now onto my design. So this is my component and this is the design page. Okay, let's just start with the flow. Okay, wait, I'll fix this. Okay, so here we have I'm just gonna set it to here. Okay, so here we have the sign-in page, and like the original, there are two text fields, one for the email and the second one for the password. So you see, if we hover on this, we can't click on it yet because we haven't filled this. So to illustrate the filling of the text field, we can click on this email and password, and then now we can click. Now the sign-in button is not disabled anymore. So okay, I also provide this toggle for the password to hide or show, and I provided the forget password and then also the sign up page. If we click on this, it will lead us to the sign up page with the additional text field of username and ID number. Okay, same, we can click on this to illustrate us filling this, and then toggle, and also both the sign in button and the sign up button will lead us to this, our main thing is this dashboard page. So what we have going on here is that the hierarchy on the left, we have this collapsible navigation sidebar with the items or the menu with the items or menu like the original one. So we have dashboard and then task and unit test, class performance, groups, presenter view, and settings. Next, for the top bar here, we also have this session list. If we hover it, it will show us a dialog, and then tutorial and the user profile. So I moved from the previously the session list and the tutorial from the left, I moved it to the right so as to group it, because my logo on the left here, VizPI, is part of the collapsible sidebar. So you see, okay, and I use a lot of auto layout to further responsiveness, so it will like fill out the rest of the page like this. Okay, in this empty dashboard here, we have groups of parameters like total students, groups, test cases, and finished students. But since we don't have any ongoing session, this is an empty dashboard. Okay, what we're gonna do is that click on this button to start a new session, and now we're on this page. On this add new session page, we have to enter the session information such as the session name, the participant number, and the duration of the session. Okay, so we can click on this, moving on, and now it will show us that, oh, okay, we just successfully created our session. Now this is a helper. What are we gonna do next is that go to the task and unit test to configure our session. So we can click on this, and it will lead us to the second menu on the navbar, that is the task and unit test page. This is a vertical stepper, and then first we have to so the flow or the structure is that after we created a session, we want to configure that session in the task and unit test page, and in this page we have to kind of like choose the session first. So here we have select session. So for example, say we just created a session called credit card number, and then we would want to kind of like select that active session here. So for example, let's say we already chose it, we can click this to continue. Okay, we're on the second step, and I also provide this button to kind of like go back one step, or and then the next one. So this is a long text field here, and then the original one, there's this pre-coding questions toggle switch. Okay, and then we can click on continue. Now we are on the third step here to create test case, and this is what my vision for this design is, that this is a dynamic table. So if we click on this green add green add button on the table row, it will add more rows below. And also, my treatment for this delete button, like what I mentioned previously, is that we have to treat it accordingly, as it is a dangerous button. So I added a red kind of like a red background as the attribute for this button. And then, okay, so my vision also is that if I click, so for example, say I want to delete the first row, I can go to click this delete button in the first row, and it will delete that particular row. So we have test case name, type of the test case, if we wanted to make it an edge case or equivalence case, and the parameter and the return value. And then also I keep this the button to generate unit test with AI, and then we can click on continue. It will lead us to the fourth step. This is a code editor for the variable setup, and then continue, same code editor for the instructor to insert their student code template, and also the unit test. So okay, so now if you click on this save, it means now we have already configured our session and the task successfully. And what are we gonna do next is to click on this distribute. Means that we gonna next we will distribute this session and tasks to the whole class. So if you click on this, it will show us an overlay of dialog that okay, it was success, and then we can click on this done. Okay, next, moving on, we will see the class performance page. So first we have this attempt performance card with the option of individual to show the individual attempt or the group attempt. So here it's the individual one with it will show the total student 91, and then these dots here is my attempt to kind of like strip from the VizProc originally, from the original paper, from the original in VizProc. Okay, so this is the indicator of the student progresses and their submission till they're finished. Okay, also the toggle switch for test mode and chat. Okay, if we scroll it down, we can see this student list card. It will show us all the students with their username, ID, and group. And if we click on a certain or a particular student, so for example this 6th student, it will show this student detailed view. So the selected user, so for this selected user, we will see their pass rate and the conversation progress, and then which test case they have passed, and also which issues are they facing. And then if we scroll it down more, we will see the code issues and class performance. These two are for the overall of the class. So for example, the first issues here is syntax error. There are 6 out of 91 students are facing that issue. Okay, same for the class performance. So for the code issues, I use the red color, and the class performance green color. Next is the group page. First we have this group list, and then I also use the circular progress bar like the original one, and then it will show us the group pass rate and conversation here, and also the search bar and the filter button here. So if you select a particular group, it will show the group detailed view like this, and then it will show the individual performance of each of the member in that group. So for example, we have 4 members here. It will show each of their pass rate and conversation also, and then the group performance aggregate of all the members in that group. So what I'm trying to do here is that I try to maintain a consistent color for pass rate and conversation, even across pages. So for example here, I use this blue color for the pass rate and the darker shade blue or navy blue for the conversation. So same here, I maintain this kind of like light blue for pass rate here, and then darker blue or navy blue for the conversation. It was to kind of like create this memory in the user and not to confuse them. And then this is basically the aggregate. This is the summary or the aggregate of all the members' performance in that group. Okay, and then this group performance, similar with the in the previous page, the performance progress bar, but this one is only for that group. So for example, if there are 4 members, it was kind of like 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, a quarter, or even if, so for example, this third test case, all the members in this have passed this test case. And lastly, we have this group conversation here. So I also fix a tiny bit issue here, is that I reduce the emoji options to 3, but also add this one button if we want to select or kind of like choose another emoji or reaction. Okay, now moving on to the presenter view page. So this is basically if the instructor wanted to share a view for the whole class. So what the instructor can do is that currently we're not sharing anything, so we can click on this, choose tap to share, and then for example, an instructor wanted to share a code issues and the group list to the whole class. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. This is sharing the code issues to the whole class and then the group list. So it's gonna be a maximum of 5 windows or 5 tabs to show. So since we have already 2, we can add 3 more to go here. Okay. Oh yeah, actually I forgot to mention about this. About this session. So if you notice here, we already have a filled dashboard here, so we don't have that empty dashboard anymore. It's because I set this from in Figma. I set the variable with a boolean parameter, so it's like session yes or no. So I use this conditional, kind of like if else conditionals, So if we have any session, it will show this field dashboard, and if we don't have any session, it will show an empty dashboard view instead. So okay, this is an overview of the important parameter, like this summary, like total students, groups, test cases, and all. And then the attempt performance here. So this dashboard, what I'm trying to do in this dashboard is that it's like a quick access and trying not to like overwhelm users with too much information. So you see, also I based it also from that Miller's law. So okay, we have this summary of task and test case, and then the code issues and class performance, and the student and the group list. Okay, so I think that's all from me. In summary, my redesign attempt of VizPI focuses on addressing key usability issues in the current interface. I aim to create a more accessible and intuitive experience for the target users, which are the academics and educators in higher education, through a clean design with a low learning curve. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to work with you.